My esteemed sister and brother judges, Shri Nandesh Deshpande, Assistant Solicitor General of India, Srimati Kirti Joshi, Government Leader, Shri Parijat Pandey, Member, Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa, Shri Atul Pandey, President, High Court Bar Association, esteemed senior advocates and other learned members of the bar, bereaved members of the Loney family, members of the registry and the staff, ladies and gentlemen. We have gathered this morning to pay obeisance to late Justice Gunwant Gulabrao Loney, who left for his heavenly abode on 7 January 2021 at the ripe old age of 94 years. It is sad that we have lost a great soul. However, I believe that one should always celebrate life and take inspiration from the achievements and accomplishments of the departed soul. Justice Loney was born on 14 June 1927 in a small village, Yavli, in district Amravati. His father, Gulabrao Loney, was a teacher in a British primary school. His lordship did his schooling from Sri Shivaji High School, Amravati. He completed his degree in Bachelor of Arts from King Edward College, Amravati, which is now known as Vidarbha Mahavidyalaya. Thereafter, he graduated in law from Sri Shivaji Law College, affiliated to Nagpur University, and was enrolled as an advocate in June 1952, whereafter he started practice at District Court Amravati and at the Nagpur High Court. Justice Loney had worked as a district government leader and public prosecutor at Amravati since 1975, having built up a vast practice in civil and criminal matters, as well as matters arising out of industrial law and cooperative law. His lordship was the lawyer for various statutory bodies. His lordship had represented the state of Maharashtra in the interstate water dispute between the state of Maharashtra and the state of Madhya Pradesh before the Madhya Pradesh High Court. His lordship was also a lecturer in Punjab Rao Deshmukh Law College, Amravati. After a fairly long practice of law spanning more than 30 years, his lordship was elevated as an additional judge of the Bombay High Court on 9th October 1985 and was confirmed as a permanent judge on 3rd March 1986. After a relatively short tenure of nearly 4 years, his lordship demitted office on 14 June 1989. During his tenure as a judge of the High Court, Justice Loney delivered several notable judgments in matters arising out of municipal laws, land laws, criminal laws, and personal laws. Due to constraints of time, I do not have the liberty of referring to each and every judgment that is part of my speech. Post-retirement, Justice Loney had led an active life and had undertaken many tasks, which he successfully accomplished. His Lordship was appointed as an arbitrator on a number of occasions to resolve various disputes between the parties. His Lordship had many firsts to his credit after retirement, since he was appointed as the first president of the Maharashtra State Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission, the first president of Goa State Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission, and the first president of Diu and Daman State Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission. His Lordship had also officiated as chairman of various committees, such as Nagpur University Roster Scam Inquiry Committee, chairman of Fee Structure Committee of D.Y. Patil Medical College, Kolhapur, chairman of Fee Structure Committee of Pravara Medical College, Ahmednagar. His Lordship was also appointed as a member of the advisory board under the Coffee Posa. The demise of Justice Loney is a huge loss for the legal fraternity. His Lordship was a judge of huge experience and great knowledge. Having died a nonagenarian, I am sure His Lordship must have led a life that is fulfilling and meaningful and left this material world without any regret. His Lordship is survived by his wife, Srimati Tara Loney, and two sons, namely Sudhir and Ashish, and two daughters, Sureka and Anita, who are all well settled in their individual lives. I hope and trust that all the family members of His Lordship would faithfully carry forward the principles of hard work, dedication, work ethics, and moral values left behind by His Lordship. In this hour of grief, on behalf of my colleagues and on my personal behalf, I convey deepest condolences to the members of the bereaved family. I pray that the Almighty give them the strength to bear the irreplaceable loss, and also pray that the noble soul of His Lordship attains Sadgati. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Honorable the Chief Justice of Bombay High Court and all other respected judges of the Bombay High Court, Mrs. G.G.Loney Joshi, Government Leader, Mr. Parijat Pandey, Member, Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa, Mr. Atul Pandey, President of the High Court Bar Association, members of the Loney family, my colleagues and dear friends. We have assembled here to mourn the sad demise of Justice Gunwant Gulabrao Loney. My Lord Justice Loney was born on 14th of June 1927. He was son of a teacher who taught in British primary school. He did his BA and LLB from Nagpur University and joined the Amravati Bar in 1952 and practiced at Amravati and the Nagpur bench of the Bombay High Court. He worked as a district government pleader and public prosecutor at Amravati since 1975. He often appeared at the Nagpur bench of the Bombay High Court and gained good experience of civil and criminal work, as well as matters arising out of industrial law and cooperative law. He also taught at the Law College at Amravati. He worked as a legal advisor to the Maharashtra Water Supply and Sewerage Board, Bombay. He was appointed by the government in many important matters as special public prosecutor, like the Mahalle brothers murder trial at Amravati. My Lord was appointed as a permanent judge of the Bombay High Court on 9th of October 1985 and he retired on 14th of June 1989. Even after his retirement, he continued to be active in professional life and headed the commission established to inquire into the irregularities in appointments in Nagpur University. He was the first president of the Maharashtra State Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission, as also the president of Goa and Diu and Daman Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission. He was the chairman of the selection committee formed for appointment of vice chancellor of Nagpur University and various other committees. He expired on 7th of January 2021 at Nagpur at the age of 94 years. He is survived by his wife, Mrs. Tara Loney, sons Sudhir Loney and Ashish Loney, and two daughters, Mrs. Sureka Sartabe and Mrs. Anita Sanjay Jagtap. His passing away has left a void in our lives. In this hour of grief, I share the feelings of all those who have gathered here in expressing our heartfelt condolences to the members of the bereaved family. May the Almighty give them strength to bear the loss and overcome the grief. May the departed soul rest in eternal peace.
Honorable the Chief Justice of the Bombay High Court, Shri Dipankar Datta, Honorable Judges of the Bombay High Court, the Assistant Solicitor General of India, Shri Deshpande, Shri Parijat Pandey, Member of Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa, Shri Atul Pandey, President High Court Bar Association, Nagpur, members of the bar, family members and relatives of Justice Loney, ladies and gentlemen, my lords, we are congregated here today to pay homage to Justice Gunwant Gulabrao Loney, a former judge of this honorable court whose death on 7th of January 2021 has left a grave sense of loss amongst the members of his family and the legal fraternity. Born on 14th June 1927 to a teacher in Yauli village in Amravati district, Justice Loney graduated in law from Nagpur University and joined the district bar at Amravati in the year 1949. He practiced mainly on criminal side and made a name for himself in a short span of time. Recognition of his legal acumen came in the manner of appointments as special public prosecutor for the state of Maharashtra in many important criminal trials, especially from the districts of Amravati and Akola, which he conducted with courage and distinction. My lords, Mahalle brothers' twin murder case, which had shocked the city of Amravati in the year 1978, was prosecuted by him in Sessions Court of Amravati as the special public prosecutor. With his hard work, zeal, and intricate knowledge of criminal law, Justice Loney secured justice for the victims. All the 5 accused persons were sentenced to life imprisonment. He worked with the same zeal in the appeals preferred by the accused persons against their convictions before this honorable court as special public prosecutor. Justice Loney, with his vast experience, detailed submissions, and erudite arguments, won the day for the prosecution as this honorable court dismissed all the appeals by delivery of a landmark judgment. One more important criminal trial which requires special mention here is the Kolpekar bomb blast trial of Akola. I am told that due to security reasons, he used to travel to Akola from Amravati in a helicopter. Justice Loney was a courageous person and a public prosecutor with far excellent commitment to his duty. My lords, Justice Loney was a multi-dimensional advocate. He excelled in criminal law on one hand and exposited in civil, constitutional and other laws on the other hand. He was a special counsel for the Maharashtra state in the interstate water dispute between the Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh. He was also a standing counsel for Amravati University, Maharashtra Water Supply and Sewerage Board, MSCB and host of other institutions. My lords, Justice Loney worked as a district government leader and public prosecutor for Amravati district till his elevation as a judge of this honorable court. He served in this post with distinction and left his indelible prints. His illustrious service as a district government leader was recognized even by this honorable court with admiration, which resulted in his elevation as a judge of this honorable court. Justice Loney adorned the bench of this honorable court on 9th of October 1985 and demitted the August constitutional office on 14th of June 1989. During his judgeship, Justice Loney had distinguished himself as an erudite judge with special command over criminal laws. He was commended by one and all for his calm and composed approach and the kindness of heart. He had a special attention for junior lawyers who found him in a judge who was understanding and supportive. My lords, during his short tenure at the bench, Justice Loney delivered many judgments. Several of them are considered to be outstanding and far-reaching in the field of law. His judgment in the case of Sridhar Vaman versus State of Maharashtra is regarded as a celebrated judgment due to the fine eloquence of law delivered therein on the scope of Section 311 of the Criminal Procedure Code. One more judgment which requires attention here is the judgment delivered in the case of Maharashtra State Electricity Board versus Trimbakram. This judgment is eminent for its exposition of the scope and ambit of Section 24 of the Indian Electricity Act and the power of the Electricity Board to disconnect the electrical supply of consumers on the strength of writings done on the energy bills. My lords, Justice Loney continued his pursuit of law even after his tenure as a judge of this honorable court concluded. He was appointed as the first president of the Consumer Dispute Redressal State Commission, State of Maharashtra and Goa. While adorning this office, he had very clear ideas about the job he was assigned to do and the role of consumer redressal forums in India. In an interview with the Times of India published on 26th of July 2013, Justice Loney said, and I quote, that there are 3 distinctive features of the pro-consumer legislation are a simple procedure for deciding cases, no court fees and expeditious decisions. But if the problems arising from the inadequate facilities and lack of staff are not solved, the consumer bodies will also go the way of other courts. Unquote. My lords, Justice Loney was an environmentalist to the core and a champion of human rights. During his second innings, he was associated with many non-governmental organizations championing causes of human rights and that of environment. He was associated with Lok Nyaya or Indian People's Tribunal, which was a non-official body led by retired judges. who formed panels that conducted public inquiries in human rights and environmental abuses. Report of a panel consisting of Justice H. Suresh and Justice Loney in a matter of the opposition by the villagers for setting up of a R&D center of a multinational company, Grow Chemicals, in village Shinde, district Pune, is a matter of public record. He was also associated with Narmada Bachao Andolan. Justice Loney was also a member of the Indian Council of Arbitration. My lords, Justice Loney was a humanitarian, lived a full life. His greatness was his wisdom and intellect with silver linings of kindness, calmness, and humility. My lords, I am told that he continued his selfless service to the society till last few years of his life. I am also told that he retired from social life only in last 4 years of his life. He left us at the age of 94. At the time of departure, Justice Loney left behind his wife, Srimati Tara, two sons, Advocate Shri Sudhir Loney and Shri Ashish Loney, two daughters, Srimati Surekha and Srimati Anita Jagtap, son-in-law, Advocate Shri Sanjay Jagtap and his grandchildren. My lords, I join your lordships along with my colleagues in the government pleader's office in offering our heartfelt condolences to the family of Justice Loney and particularly to my colleagues in the bar, Advocate Shri Sudhir Loney, Advocate Shri Sanjay Jagtap, and Advocate Ms. Sonali Sartabe. May the good soul rest in peace.
Honorable Chief Justice, Honorable Judges of Bombay High Court, SGI Mr. Nandesh Deshpande, Government Leader Mrs. Joshi, Sri Atul Pandey, President of High Court Bar Association, respected members of Registry and Bar. Honorable Sri Justice Loney will always be remembered for his contribution towards our legal fraternity. During his tenure as DGP Amravati, he set up a benchmark in conducting various criminal trials. His legacy to serve the society through this noble profession has been successfully carried forwarded by his son, daughter-in-law, son-in-law, grandson, and granddaughter. On behalf of Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa, I express my condolences for the departed soul. Om Shanti.
Honorable Mr. Justice Dipankar Dutta, the Chief Justice of Bombay High Court, his companion justices of the Bombay High Court, Shri N.S. Deshpande, Assistant Solicitor General of India, Mrs. G.G.Loney Joshi, Government Leader, Advocate Parijat Pandey, Member Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa, Member of Registry, distinguished members of the Bar, family members of late Justice G.G.Loney, ladies and gentlemen. Before the elevation as a judge of Bombay High Court, Justice Loney was a district government leader and a public prosecutor at Amravati. The government of Maharashtra appointed him as special prosecutor to handle various important trials like Kolpekar bomb blast trial of Akola, Mahalle brothers murder trial of Amravati. Justice Loney elevated as the judge of Bombay High Court on 9/10/1985 and was known for his judicial temperament and rulings. In Sridhar Vaman Surishe versus State of Maharashtra, wherein Justice Loney explained the scope and applicability of the provisions of recalling and re-examination of witness under the provisions of Section 311 of CRPC and ruled that the provision for recalling and re-examination of a witness is not meant to fill up the gap which a party has created. Justice Loney further ruled that prosecution cannot be allowed to rebut the defense evidence unless the prisoner brings forward something suddenly and unexpectedly. After retirement, Justice Loney was appointed as first chairman of the Maharashtra State Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission, also first chairman of Goa State Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission, and first chairman of Diu and Daman State Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission. Justice Loney also shouldered various important assignments, like he was member of Capicosa Committee Maharashtra. Justice Loney was chairman of Vice Chancellor Selection Committee Maharashtra and also chairman of Nagpur University Roster Scan Committee and handled many more important assignments. At the age of 94, Justice Loney passed away on 7 January 2021. We have assembled here to mourn the sad demise of Justice G.G.Loney. On behalf of High Court Bar Association and the Executive Committee, I offer my deepest condolences to his son, Advocate G.G.Loney, and son-in-law, Advocate Sanjay Jagtap, and other members of the family. May the divine soul rest in peace. Thank you.
As a mark of respect to the departed soul, we shall all rise now and observe a minute's silence. Official proceedings will commence as per schedule.